So why not just try to do it all in one day and see what happens?
I was just in the zone. G. What comes after G in the alphabet? And it is time to get into all of the stats.
Hello! I'm Nicole Wilbur. I'm a writer and story nerd, and I am doing something crazy. Today is Friday, and tomorrow is Saturday, and I have decided to do a write a short story in one day challenge. Hold on, that's not exactly what it is. I am going to brainstorm, outline, write, revise, and edit a short story in one day in a 12-hour write-a-thon. So, why are we doing this crazy thing? Well, I am in the middle of writing a novel. That's a historical fiction novel. I love it. It's taken a while, but that's okay. It's probably gonna take me till the summer, I would think, to finish. Sometime in the summer, I will hopefully finish the second draft of this novel. But as I've been writing it over the past few months, I've had a lot of ideas for short stories or other shorter forms of things that I would like to write. However, because I have many things going on, I do not really have time to focus on more than one project. So I've decided that I want to write these stories. I want to start writing them anyways. So why not just try to do it all in one day and see what happens? And so that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Oh my God. I'm like not sure this is gonna work or go well, but like I'm very excited to try. As I said, I've had a few ideas for short stories, things that I would like to write. This one in particular, I got the idea during a phone Zoom call. I am a patron of the Harry Potter podcast MuggleCast. They host a hangout once a month for their patrons. So I was at a hangout back in December, and someone mentioned how much they really wanted their standing desk from work, and how they really missed their standing desk and they just wish they could go and get it. And I thought, wouldn't it be hilarious if I wrote a short story about a group of people pulling off a heist so they could get their standing desks from their office during the pandemic? Now, I'm going to set the story probably in April of 2020 because I really want there to be a massive snowstorm. If you've read Let It Snow, the story by John Green called A Cheertastic Christmas Miracle has really inspired me here. And April 2020, they're going to be in Canada, so it makes sense. It snowed. It snowed May last year, so April is fine. It snows in April. And yeah, they're going to be new grads. So I think 3 of them were going for like a 2 guys, 1 girl vibes type situation, living in like a apartment. It won't just be like slapstick humor or whatever. I'm hoping the characters will have some like interesting growths or things around their personal lives / not being able to see their families and that kind of thing. Is it a little bit catharsis-y? Yes, but it is also going to be funny, hopefully, if I can write funny. So that is gonna be good. So what I just told you is everything I know about the story. I don't know where they work. I don't know who the characters are. I don't know how the hell they're gonna pull off a heist at an office building, but that's okay. Who needs to know any of those things? I am going to figure them out. I am going to go to bed very soon because it is after 9:30 p.m. and I'm getting up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And yep, all right, this is gonna be fun. See you on the flip side. Good morning. It is 5:22 a.m. on Saturday, and I didn't actually have trouble getting up this morning. I did hit snooze, but then I only snoozed for like 2 minutes before I was like, okay, let's do it. So I think I'm just gonna sit here with this piece of paper and yeah, brainstorm a little bit to start. So it is 6 a.m. I've been at this for, 6:07 a.m. So I've been at this for almost 50 minutes now. Wow, God, I can't believe it's been nearly an hour. I've just been brainstorming. I haven't even done that much. Okay. I have 3 characters and I think I have an idea of what kind of the heart of the story is going to be now. So I have to kind of like work a little bit on their different personalities. I think I might do Myers-Briggs. I also have to give them names. So hopefully I'll have like figured out most of the character stuff and have the names and like a better idea of their personalities by 7. And then I have to outline the actual story before I can keep writing it. At some point I'm gonna have to have some food. So okay, so it is 7:23 and I have characters. My characters are, I'm gonna tell you their names because I just spent 20 minutes figuring them out. We have Ryder Keene, who is our consultant, Patrick Lee, who is our art history guru, and Kirsty Perez, who is our programmer, the girl in the group. It's 7:30, so I've been here for 2 hours now, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like it. I'm gonna go downstairs. I pre-bought myself Starbucks for this morning, so I'm gonna go have my Starbucks refresher. Okay, so it is time to outline. So what I've done, it's now 8:04. I had a quick snack. I had a cake pop and Starbucks and a clementine. And then I watched again part of Brandon Sanderson's lecture on heist stories. It's like 10 minutes where he just kind of broke down the archetypes. What's gonna be difficult is turning a heist story into a short story. They are breaking into an office building, not necessarily anything more complicated, so that's okay. But I think honestly the first thing I need to do is really just write down all of the sort of challenges that they're going to encounter. I really liked how Brandon Sanderson broke down the different kinds of heists. I'm more familiar with the Ocean's 11 kind, but I decided that that is not going to work for my characters, and so instead I'm going to use the Italian job style. They think there's problems A, B, C, D, and they have solutions 1, 2, 3, 4 for them, but when they show up, the problems are actually G. What comes after G in the alphabet? G, A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J. G, H, I, J, and they have to like use their solutions in new and unexpected ways. Okay, so it is 8:44, 43. There's 15 minutes till my live stream. I went and I put on a different shirt because I didn't want to be all sweatshirty. I've written out a list of perceived problems and actual problems and how the solutions from the perceived problems are being applied to the actual problems. So I have 2 perceived problems and 2 actual problems that I have worked out here. I have kind of the final, like, big, clever, funny thing worked out that I think it's gonna be pretty good. I don't know how surprising I think it'll be pretty good. I think it'll be fun. The only thing I'm having trouble with is kind of like the first thing that happens, how they're getting into the building is what I'm having trouble with. And I just Googled how people break into buildings, and there's literally a How Stuff Works article with 10 ways to break into a house. So I'm hoping this is gonna provide some inspiration. It is 10:15. The writing stream went very, very well. We did about 50 minutes total of writing in like an hour and 15 minutes of streaming, so that was great. I would have done it a little bit longer, except for the fact that my writing is never like as productive because I'm worried about people like being on camera and checking the chat and stuff like that, which makes sense because it's like a very social kind of thing. And so my plan is, because Meredith Phillip writes, she has a live stream happening at 11 a.m. today. So I'm gonna write until 11, and then at 11 I'm gonna go get breakfast while like that's getting started up, and then I can start writing again. I have started writing actual words in the story. I have 100 words, which is not that good, but we're doing a 0 draft, so hopefully the 0 draft will be like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 words, and hopefully I can write that in like 3 hours. How is this gonna work? I don't know if this is gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Okay, I have to write really fast. Let's go. Okay, so it has been a minute. It is now 2:46, so it's almost 3 p.m. and I have 4,455 words in this story. I do not think I am going to get to the revision part of today because the story is not finished. I am maybe 40% of the way through it, so I need probably another 4,000 or 5,000 words before it's actually going to be finished. I have, 2.5 hours
to go, I really want to go get some ice cream. There's an ice cream store just down the street, so I'm gonna go grab some ice cream, take like a 15-minute break, hopefully there's not a huge line, and then come back to it and write as much as I possibly can. Okay, it is 5 p.m. and it is time for an update. So it's been 7 hours, I have 7,000 words, so I can write, I'm like 100% on track doing 1,000 words an hour. And it's 5 p.m., which means my 12 hours will be up in half an hour. And I have not finished writing the short story. So it is a little longer than I thought it would be. I thought it would be between 4,000 and 6,000 words. It's looking like it's gonna be about 9,000, 10,000 words, I think. And so I'm definitely not going to get to revising or line editing today, which is too bad, and I probably should have chosen like a shorter short story idea versus this one, which is turning more like novella-y. But that's okay, I still am like really into it, and I really do want to finish it. I'm not going to finish it in the next 24 minutes, unfortunately, before I have to go to my thing. I'm having just so much fun with this story. It's so silly. I think when I'm editing it, I'll really be trying to pull out the heart and like the emotional journey a little bit more. I have some of it in there. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to turn out in this first draft. The last like little section I just wrote was about, they're like just doing this heist right now, like they're starting the heist. And they've just had sort of like a little all is lost moment, which I didn't actually outline, I just kind of came to me naturally, and I feel like I like it. And then they decided to have some shots of scotch. It's $100 scotch in a crystal decanter in an apartment that like is disgusting and like student-y and new grad-y and yucky. But this one guy has scotch in a crystal decanter that he has been very protective of, and then at this moment, to motivate people, he says, you can have some. And so then two of my characters go screaming off, stampeding across the creek, and the last line, which is probably gonna change, it's gonna be edited, is, but for now it's to adventure and to debauchery, it's out into the cold wilderness we go, exclamation point. It's just such a fun story, and I know there's a lot of cleaning up to do, but it's like, it's so fun and silly to write, and I'm enjoying just being like, okay, let's just write this, let's make it fun, let's make it fast, let's not care if it's good or not, and just see what happens. So hello. So it is the next day, it is Sunday, and it is time to get into all of the stats. So on Saturday, yesterday, I did the brainstorming and outlining from 5 a.m. to 10:15-ish a.m. There was also a live stream in there, so I wasn't like my most productive ever because I did a little bit of talking, but overall sort of the brainstorming, outlining, figuring out what was actually going to happen and what they would have to overcome in the heist took me 5 hours. Then I did 7 hours of writing, and I came up with 7,500 words. So that's about, 1,100 words per hour. I did not do any writing last night because I had a really great time at my gym, and then I just came back and kind of relaxed and went to bed. But I ended that day with 7,500 words. Then this morning, I woke up and I wrote from 5:30 to 8:30, and in those 3 hours, I got 4,900 words, which is insane. I don't know how I got that many in such a short amount of time. That gives me a total of 12,400 words in this project, and I finished the novella. 5,000 words in 3 hours is very impressive for me. That's not something that I usually do. And I keep thinking about my last day that was as productive as this, and that was in November when I had to write a play in a day, and I did 8K in one day. So I've been thinking a lot about what I can take away from this and what reflections. So the first thing I want to take away is that 12-hour day. It might have been because the first 5 hours were really brainstorming and outlining, so I was using different skills. It was not bad. I did not finish feeling tired. I finished feeling like I wanted to work on the story more and more and more. 2, it was really, really cool to be just super intensely focused into the story and pretty much thinking of nothing else for an entire 28 hours when I was writing it and brainstorming it. I think that was awesome, and I think I got a huge amount of momentum that really helped. I really got into the characters' minds. 3, it took me a while to get started. So while I do say like my average yesterday was 1,100 words per hour, I think in the first hour or two, I only got maybe like 800, 900 words. Like I was not doing that average in the first hour or two because it took a while to get into the voice of the story, to feel the characters. As I was writing in the beginning, I had to keep constantly referring to my notes and who they were and all that stuff in order to get to the point where I was doing well. Now, what I actually think is really interesting was this 5,000 words in 3 hours thing that I did this morning, because I was just in the zone. Like, it went so well because I had no phone. It was 5 o'clock in the morning. There's no one in my house. There's absolutely no distractions. And it was crazy. Like, I was just writing like a mad woman. And it was good because I had a deadline. That motivated me a lot. And I got to the end. I think there's a few reasons I was able to write so much so fast. Number one is I knew exactly what was going to happen in this story. Like, no qualms. I knew it. I had it visualized in my head. I visualized the setting. I visualized everything. I knew what was going to happen. So there wasn't any guessing. It was just writing it. And then number two, the words that I wrote were actually very heavy on dialogue. And that is interesting because it reminds me of the play that I wrote, that 8K in one day. And I do think that I'm most natural at doing dialogue and like some stage directions, some introspection interspersed. But if I want to write fast and write a lot, focusing in on dialogue is kind of the way for me to do that. So those are two really great things that I kind of learned if I want to up my word count. I noticed as I was writing that my sort of inner critic and inner filter really reduced. So while I have been, for the second draft of 1837, been really trying to write good things, writing good things takes a lot more time than just writing, like fast drafting, getting it done. Not a huge revelation, but an interesting thing to think about. I had so much fun this weekend. So the total story, which I thought was going to be a short story, but it is now a novella, is 12,400 words. And I wrote 12,400 words in one weekend, and normally that would probably take me 2 weeks. So that is amazing, and I feel very energized. I don't feel tired. I don't feel burnt out about any of it. I think it went incredibly well. It's that thing that like success breeds success, where once you have some success, you're like really willing and ready and motivated to push for more. Like when I had 7,500 words yesterday, I was like, well, I'm on a roll. Like I just want to finish this story this weekend, which is why I wrote 5,000 words this morning, because I felt super motivated. Success breeds success. And so I would call this experiment a huge success. I think I might try to do like a 12-hour write-a-thon once a month. Maybe that's something I can look into trying to build into my schedule, because it works. It works so well, and it's just so helpful to really be in the mind of that story. So let me know in the comments what you thought of all of this. Would you ever do a 12-hour write-a-thon? Have you done one? Have you done any sort of big writing challenges? How did they go? Let me know. Thank you so much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please do so. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.